Welcome to a journey to places of mystery and prohibition. In this fascinating overview, we reveal the 12 most illegal places in the world to visit. A collection of places on this earth that are so unique, dangerous, or sacred that they have actually been closed to the public. From abandoned ghost towns that have been reclaimed by nature, to sacred shrines open only to a select few, to dangerous islands inhabited by deadly creatures, each of these places tells a unique and often incredible story that reminds us how diverse and surprising our planet is. Plutos Gate. Absolutely deadly. What if I told you that the entrance to the underworld is in Turkey? Hidden in the ancient ruins of Hierapolis is the mysterious Plutos Gate. Surrounded by ancient columns and crumbling walls, deadly gases flow out of a crevice in the rock. You could be forgiven for thinking you have arrived at the gateway to the underworld. Legends tell of priests who led sacrificial animals into the poisonous fumes just to demonstrate how quickly life can be extinguished in this ominous place. The air is filled with stench and a whiff of death. Today, direct access to the gate of the underworld is strictly forbidden. Visitors who admire the sanctuary from a safe distance report a feeling of eeriness, as if the ghosts of the past still walk in the poisonous mists. Montserrat Exclusion Zone. Destroyed by nature. It sounds too crazy, but a once thriving island paradise in the Caribbean has quickly become a place of horror and a death zone. In the shadow of the Soufri Hills volcano lies the Montserrat Exclusion Zone, a place once inhabited by the rich and now mercilessly reclaimed by nature. In 1995, the volcano awoke from its century-long slumber, spewing ash and lava for weeks and leaving behind a landscape of destruction. The once vibrant capital, Plymouth, was buried under a thick layer of ash. The former splendor has become a city of horror. Mansions burned in the lava flows, and the inhabitants quickly fled with what they could save. Almost 30 years after the disaster, the streets and houses that were spared have been overgrown by merciless nature. To this day, no one has returned. The Soufri Hills volcano is still unpredictable, and a new eruption could threaten at any time. Today, the Exclusion Zone tells a silent story of natural violence and loss. Occasionally, adventurers or journalists come to the island. The magnificent villas and cozy vacation homes have long since been looted. After the main eruption, people came in boats and cleared away everything that the owners had to leave behind during their quick escape. Chichen Itza. Blood and death. I'm sure you've all heard of Chichen Itza. After all, it's one of the largest ruined Mayan cities and one of the most famous sites in the world. So, Chichen Itza is not so illegal and inaccessible at first. Thousands of tourists come here every year. But there is one place within this city where you should think carefully about whether you really want to visit it. El Castillo Towers in the center, a monumental temple that once witnessed bloody rituals. Here, priests cut out the hearts of their human victims while they were still alive, then walked up the steps of the pyramid and stretched the blood-soaked organs towards the heavens. Many Maya say that the violence at this site is still palpable. The strict security measures prohibiting entry to many structures add to the sense of mystery and eeriness. Herd Island. Only researchers allowed. You need a special permit to come here. Why? Well, this picturesque island in the southern Indian Ocean has it all. Herd Island is actually a natural paradise, wild, remote, and forbidden. The island is dominated by the massive Big Bend volcano, and the landscape is characterized by rugged glaciers and snow-capped peaks. Herd Island is a paradise for explorers, but a nightmare for the unprepared. The island, which is under Australian jurisdiction, has been off-limits to normal people for many years. Nature is too unpredictable here. The volcano, with its steaming ash fields, is too dangerous. Sudden changes in the weather turn the island's mountains into deadly traps, and even normal and careless hikers can quickly die here in the jungle. Access here is also strictly limited in order to protect the unique flora and fauna. Almost completely untouched by human presence, the island has become even wilder and more pristine. Herd Island is a place of solitude and a silent testimony to the untouched beauty and power of nature. Jingu Shrine, Shrine of Power. Holy, holy Jingu. This place in the middle of the forest in Japan is of immeasurable spiritual significance. Hidden deep in the forest of Itza, it is the heart of the Shinto faith, a place where the gods and nature exist in perfect harmony. The architecture of the shrine, built from the finest cypress wood, radiates timeless elegance and tranquility. Access to the innermost sanctuary is strictly forbidden to outsiders. Only the imperial family and a select few are allowed to enter. It is said that a power that is difficult to describe in words emanates from the place, giving the imperial family its power and dignity. The place is dedicated to the Japanese sun goddess Amaterasu. The strict prohibition gives the shrine an aura of mystery, and thousands come here every year, both Japanese and foreigners, to be at least a little bit close to the most sacred. Uluru, the holiest place in Australia. Did you know that Uluru, the mighty sandstone monolith in the heart of Australia, is far more than just a natural wonder? For the Anagu, the indigenous people of the region, it is a sacred place surrounded by an aura of mystery and spirituality. The huge red rock formation rises majestically from the flat desert landscape, as if it had been placed there by the gods themselves. Stories and legends surround this place, and the ancient rock paintings tell of the dreamtime stories of the Anagu. Climbing Uluru was once a popular destination for adventurers. Since the rights of the indigenous people have been more protected, climbing and mountaineering at this sacred site is now prohibited. Even strangers who come to the site report feeling a subtle vibration. It is almost as if the place is singing and telling a sacred story of a land that white people know very little about. Sometimes locals offer guided tours and share their vision and deep mysticism with the many visitors and curious onlookers. At dusk, when the rock glows in fiery colors, Uluru speaks to the ancestors. At least, that's how the Ananagu people see it. Bangar Fort, City of the Dead. Let's be honest, do you believe in ghosts? If we believe the legends surrounding Bangar Fort, ghosts are almost as real as us humans. Built in the 16th century, the fort in Rajasthan is said to be the spookiest haunted place in India. In daylight, the fort is an impressive example of ancient architecture, but after sunset, the place turns into a scene of horror. Local myths tell of a curse that weighs heavily on the fort, one that tells of a thwarted magician whose unrequited love for a princess ended in tragedy. Visitors report unexplained noises, shadowy figures, and a sense of trepidation that pervades the ruins. Entry is strictly forbidden after dark as a mark of respect to the restless souls that are said to still roam here. Morgan Island, for monkeys only. What many people don't know is that the cute monkey colony that has settled on this island has a traumatic origin. The monkeys originally came from a research laboratory in Puerto Rico and somehow ended up on Morgan Island off the coast of South Carolina. The island, which has since caused a sensation as Monkey Island, is now strictly off-limit to visitors. Nobody really knows what experiments the monkeys were used for and whether they are carriers of strange diseases. Rumor has it that further experiments are taking place here, and the US government is using the island for its own experiments on the animals. Officially, however, Monkey Island is a nature reserve and may only be entered by a few authorized people. Nui Island, the Forbidden Island of Hawaii. When we think of Hawaii, we see hula girls with flowers in their hair, colorful drinks, and tourists in typical Hawaiian shirts. But Hawaii is not just idyllic and touristy. The clock ticks differently on Nui Island, known as the Forbidden Island of Hawaii. It is a place shrouded in mystery and strict traditions. Privately owned by the Robinson family, this island is a retreat almost completely cut off from the rest of the world. Only a select few have the privilege of setting foot on this untouched paradise. The inhabitants of Nui live a simple life, far from modern conveniences, and preserve their culture and language. Rumors swirl around the island that it is in fact a retreat for criminals and wanted persons. Other legends tell of the hostility of the inhabitants. Yet Nui is said to be nothing other than a place where time stands still and mass tourism must stay outside. Mezori, weapons testing and espionage. After sanctuaries and natural paradises, we come to Mezori, a mysterious town in the southern Ural Mountains in Russia. This secluded town is home to some of Russia's most secret military facilities. The tight security measures and isolation from the outside world have led to wild theories. Allegedly, nuclear weapons are tested here and secret research projects are carried out. The inhabitants of Mezori live in a world that looks more like a spy movie than reality. The tests carried out in the surrounding area and in the Ural Mountains are also said to be responsible for the brutal death of a group of hikers who died in the 1950s while crossing a mountain pass under unexplained circumstances. For outsiders, Mezori remains an enigma that is both fascinating and chilling in equal measure. Diego Garcia, contaminated island paradise. What could possibly be the reason for suddenly clearing an island in the middle of the Indian Ocean? A natural disaster or human madness? There are wild rumors around Diego Garcia that continue to this day. Once home to a small population, the island was cleared in the 1960s and 1970s to make way for a major U.S. military base. Weapons tests were allegedly carried out here and the island is said to be contaminated. However, no one has admitted this. Great Britain, which claims official sovereignty over the island, refuses to return the island to its former inhabitants, even though one of the world's highest courts has repeatedly declared the annexation invalid. Snake Island, too deadly for the public. Off the coast of Sao Paulo in Brazil lies an island so deadly that it has been closed to the public. Ilha de Quadradro Grande, better known as Snake Island, is home to the golden lance adder, one of the most venomous snake species in the world. The density of these deadly snakes is so high here that legends speak of one snake per square meter. The island is not only a place of pure terror for anyone with a phobia of snakes, it is also extremely dangerous. The probability of encountering one of these biting creatures here is so high that the Brazilian government has strictly forbidden access. Become a subscriber now and stay tuned for the next videos.